being here. Please take a silent roll call. And we'll get into the regular agenda. So item number 1, approval of the November 18th, 2025 minutes of the Carefree Water Company Board and Utilities Community Facilities District Board. Are there any comments to the minutes? So hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes from our November 18th, 2025 meeting.
Motion to approve minutes from our November 18th, 2025 meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, passes unanimously. Thank you. Item number 2, review, discussion, and action to accept the findings of the fiscal year 2024-25 audit of the district by approval of resolution 2026-01. So we'll turn it over to Kristen Cray, the treasurer of the water company.
Thank you, Chairman and Board. Today we'll have our presentation on the annual audit for fiscal year 2025 for the UCFD. That will be presented by Clifton Larson Allen, who completed the audit on our behalf. This was their first year with us. They did an outstanding job. Just want to quickly remind you of why we do audits. This also goes for our town audit as well. We want to assure that our financial statements are free from material misstatements. We want to verify that we're following appropriate accounting practices. And we want to make sure that we're using the appropriate principles. They're called GAAP principles and relevant to the whole process. And we, of course, want to confirm our compliance with what's called the GASB. That's the Governmental Accounting Standard Board's requirements. And this goes for our UCFD as well as our town. This helps us guard against fraud and misuse of our funds, obviously, and it provides this additional level of transparency to our public. So I'm really happy to say on behalf of Nick Larson, who you've all met, Nikki Matsador. She is our budget and finance person for the water company. I want to especially shout out to her. She really independently handled most of this audit due to the departure of Greg Crossman from the water company, right literally in the 5th week of it, when we just finished the audit last week. And then Nick jumped in as soon as he got here. So he's to be commended for really just, baptism by fire over there at the water company. So real happy to work with both of them on this. And even our own Jim Keene over at the town got involved at some point along, I was with me to help move this forward. So I'm real pleased to announce that we've had a clean audit, and Ms. Lupita Martinez from Clifton Larson Allen, principal, will present the audit to you this evening.
Okay, well,
Hello,
welcome.
thank you. Good afternoon, Mayor and members of council. We have a slide presentation for you here. This says the town of Carefree, but I'm going to cover the UCFD portion of that. And so this is the audit results for the fiscal year ended June 30, 2025 for UCFD. So what is an audit? As Kristen mentioned, we examine and we verify management's assertion, and we give you our opinion on whether those financial numbers are free from material misstatement. That opinion is in the form of a report, and it is signed, and it's probably in your financial statement packet for the UCFD. It includes findings and recommendations. When we perform our audit, we evaluate risk. And so, as you can imagine, every different government or enterprise fund of governments have different risks. And so, being new to this organization, we went in and tested the internal controls over billing. And so that was our largest risk, is the revenue and charges for services. And so with that, we spend a little more time in those areas, but we also spend time looking at your capital assets and other material balances. And auditors work for council or governance. We do not work for management. We report to you. Our professional standards require that we remain independent, and our results come to the council. So in our reporting package, for UCFD, we have our written letter, which is our communication to governance. It has all of our required communications for our professional standards. We have the annual financial report, which includes our audit opinion. And then we also give you another audit report called the Yellow Book report, and it's in accordance with government auditing standards. So that is, you're covered should you have any federal funding. Typically, government auditing standards are a little more in-depth. They require more independence. They're a little trickier than generally accepted auditing standards, but you do have that report for UCFD as well. In our governance communication, we do have to let you know if the UCFD adopted any new accounting policies, which they did. There is a GASB called GASB 101, and it covers how you account for compensated absences, which means sick leave, annual leave. So that was adopted by UCFD with no material impact to the numbers. We did not encounter any significant unusual transactions. We had no difficulties in performing the audit, even with the management turnover. And we had no disagreements over accounting policies with management. There were no significant accounting estimates. If there was a number in your financial statements that was based on a significant accounting estimate, we would have to audit it and then discuss it with you. There's a thing called uncorrected misstatements. So as we're going through our audit, we do find errors, and some of them aren't material enough to require management to correct them in that year. It's really up to them. But two errors that we're allowing management to correct in the future year is a bond premium amortization error in the amount of $144,000. And then another entry was not recorded to record the Verizon land lease balance of $185,000. So both of those will be corrected in the future. In the annual financial report, the components are, again, the audit opinion, and we rendered what's called an unmodified or a clean opinion on the financial statements. The other information that's in there, which are the bond disclosure requirements, we issue what's called a disclaimer of opinion, which means, we read the information, we tied it out, but we do not render an opinion on that information. But it is correct. We've reviewed it and made some corrections. The financial statement highlights, forgive me for having to fast forward. UCFD, okay. I'll break these out next year, I promise. Statement of net position, why aren't my slides coming up? Oh no. Am I clicking too fast? I had numbers for you, I promise. Did you see them when they came over?
I did not.
Oh, heck.
So I thought perhaps you were speaking.
That's how the slides appeared.
Oh, really? Okay.
Slides appear.
I do have the numbers in my slide presentation. I have it on my computer. I can bring it up definitely for the town, and we can
Do that.
cover it then, yeah.
You could connect it right in
Oh, okay.
there. Yeah.
Do that now?
Up here, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll be right back.
You probably is, yeah.
Sure.
See, I thought you had some trick up your sleeve there, Lapita, when you gave me those blank slides. I know. I should have asked you.
Here we go. Can everybody see that?
Yep.
Got it? All right, I'm not sure what happened. There we go. All right, perfect.
Okay, my apologies, Mayor, members of council. This is the water fund. You can see we've got financial results from 2022 to 25. 25, you had $31.9 million in total assets. That is the amount of money you own. That's what you own. Total liabilities is the amount of money you owe, and that is $25.5 million. And your fund balance, which is a fancy word for equity or net worth for the UCFD, is $6.5 million. And you can kind of see that your assets fluctuate, year to year. Liabilities they're going down every year, and your net worth is slightly creeping up every year. Oh yeah, thank you. So when you have fund balance in a government, it isn't always unrestricted or available for use. So your fund balance at UCFD is $6.5 million. However, $3.2 million is invested in capital. And so that is all of your infrastructure, your water lines, all of your system. So the 6.4 is basically capital assets. And then you have no restricted fund balances. And then $3.3 million is unrestricted fund balance. So that's available for use however you choose to use it. Whoops, okay. Revenue and expenses for the water fund this year, $4.9 million in revenue, $5.2 million of expenses. So your operating income was $321,000. You did have some non-operating expenses, and so you had a net loss for the year of $282,000. And so it looks like revenue was trending in the right direction since 2022. Expenses were a little higher this year. Operating income was lower, and then non-operating expenses was about the same. Any questions on the P&L? Okay. And that's the end of my presentation. Again, this is how you can reach me, my email and my phone number if you have any other questions. But thank you for having me today.
Okay, well, thank you. Any questions or comments from the town, from the board? Yeah, go right ahead.
Thank you for your presentation. On page 15, under revenue bonds payable, you had a total of $29,500,000. But on the next page, page 11, you had the liabilities at $25 million. So there's a $4 million. Here, I have it highlighted. If you,
Could you say those page numbers again? I'm just having a hard time tracking.
15.
Page 15.
So the difference is note 7 is the revenue bonds payable. And then on page 16, that includes the capital advances from the town.
Yeah, that is correct.
It's still
So,
a debt, though.
oh, I'm sorry.
Still a debt.
Okay, so note 7 is the specifics of the revenue bonds payable.
Right.
Okay, so that's just specific to bonds. The next page incorporates the bonds and the advances from the town.
So it should go up, not down, because we owe the town, do we not?
Right. We owe the town 25 million. I mean, sorry, 3.26 for the capital advance.
Right.
So the 18 million up at the top is the revenue bonds payable, then there's a premium, I'm hard to explain. So,
But on page 15,
Yeah.
they include the interest.
right,
So the total's 29 million.
so it's just like when you get your mortgage, there's a
Don't.
set amount of your mortgage. It does not include the interest when it tells you how much debt you have. It's the same.
But
thing.
obviously, they're considering the interest part of the debt, since they're listing it under the payable.
They're listed, which page? On the?
No, on that, they're
page
saying
15?
revenue bonds payable. They're,
On page 15?
Yeah.
Okay, so that, it's principal and interest.
right, which is the total amount of the debt,
That's not-
29 million.
No, no.
We
The
don't know
total
the
amount-
interest? We're waiving the
total-
interest?
You did this last month.
Yeah.
The total amount of the debt is 18,055 right now. That is the total amount of the debt.
But we do
Okay.
owe the interest, do we not?
Yes,
Thank you.
but it's not debt. It is not part of the debt. The actual debt is 18 million. The interest is separate.
But in every schedule they have for us on repayment, they're showing it.
Okay, so
as a-
note
so-
7 gives you the technical specifications of a bond deal. It's separated by principal and interest. Note 7 is the technical specifications of the bond deal.
Mayor, members of council, maybe I could clarify that a little bit. So in note 7, Council Member Amoroso is correct. What you owe is 18,055,000. Interest, however, is not incurred until a future date. So you don't really record the interest until you incur it. The reason that it's disclosed here is because so that the reader can see what the debt service is going to be in the future. But it's not an actual expense until it's incurred. So for example, if you were to pay off the 18,055,000 next year, you wouldn't owe the other 11 million.
Yeah,
I think the
that-
confusion was on the page 16 where it said 25 million. That was the confusion.
Okay, so page 16 is a different note, and that is all of your long-term liabilities. That's note 8. And that includes the revenue bonds of the 18 million. When you did take out the revenue bond, you did pay a premium, so you paid another 2.8, which gets amortized over the life of the bond. Then you have your compensated absences of 26,000, the advance that's due to the town, 3.2 million, and then you financed some purchases of 453,000. So all of your debt, including the revenue bonds, is 24.6 million.
At this moment in time.
At this moment in time, correct. Great question.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, very good. Any other questions? Okay, well done, thank you. Thanks
Thank
for
you so
taking care
much.
of us at the water company, and we'll see you again in about 50 minutes. Okay, agenda item number 3. Oh, we have to have a motion on this.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
Thank you.
gotcha. So we have to, our action is to approve Resolution 2026-01. So I would entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2026-01, a resolution of the Board of Directors of the Town of Carefree, Arizona Utilities Community Facilities District, accepting the findings of the fiscal year 2024-25 annual audit for the district for the year ending June 30th, 2025.
Motion to approve Resolution 2026-01, a resolution of the Board of Directors of the Town of Carefree, Arizona Utilities Communities Facilities District, accepting the findings of the fiscal year 24-25 annual audit for the district for the year ending June 30th, 2025.
Second.
Before we vote, any comments? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, passed unanimously. Great, thank you. And thank you, Lupita. Where were you? No, she'll be back.
Wait, I have a question.
Okay, item number 3, Carefree Water Company and UCFD project updates. Nick Larson.
Chairman and Board, nice to be with you for the first board meeting that I get to attend. Of course, the last one, you approved my contract, which I appreciate very much so I appreciate the privilege to present to you for the first time this meeting. Just to get started with the audit too, I too have to, of course, give my appreciation to Nikki and Kristen and Jim. They did a lot of the heavy lifting on the audit. I was coming in late to the game, so they really did help a lot. And of course, with CLA, they were good to work with. So I definitely pass on my appreciation, and a lot of credit should go to Nikki, especially as she did a lot of the heavy lifting on this one. So I appreciate her taking the lead on this one. But a couple of the other projects that you have no doubt been thinking about. The Silver Saddle project is one that got awarded back in November, early November, the contract to, of course, it went out for bid, and bid proposals were received. Judco was the lowest bidder, and it was awarded to them as the lowest bidder. However, at that point, we had not executed a contract because we were waiting for the EPA to give their sign-off on the contract. So thanks to the lapse in appropriations, it delayed a lot of their processes back last year. And so there's been a bit of a delay from our project officer over there in San Francisco. So I've been feverishly reaching out to her to try to get updates. We had to resubmit the contract. There were some missing clauses and language in the contract that didn't affect the contract price, just some clauses that they wanted to see in the contract. As well as our bid packets, some of the bid packets we received from other contractors. They wanted to do a review on those as well. So we submitted all those. That was probably 2 or 3 days after I started, got all those over to them. However, there was a lot of delays. So thankfully, though, on Monday, yesterday, she reached out to me saying that the review process is ongoing, or has begun on the documents submitted. She expects them to be reviewed shortly. I have a meeting with her tomorrow. Our contractor, Judco, is chomping at the bit to get started. They're just waiting for our notice to proceed. However, just waiting on the EPA's final sign-off on that so that we can use the funds through the grant to pay for the majority of the cost. So a quick update on that one, on the Silver Saddle. We haven't started yet, but we're really hoping to very shortly with the EPA's blessing.
So although the EPA is taking some time, Judco's holding their prices for us.
Yes, they have been graciously holding their price for us, so they're very interested in taking on the project with us. So, yeah, that's the good news. Any other questions with Silver Saddle? Okay. Another one is the Bartlett Lake study. Of course, we have been in that for some time, that project. Currently, it's going through the feasibility study phase. And that's a long process. It's currently with NEPA, the National Environmental Policy Act. They have their processes that they have to go through, environmental studies, financial feasibility studies. The Bureau of Reclamation is taking the lead on this feasibility study. So they're looking at a lot of different moving parts. This is a large project, so there's a lot to consider, and it's time consuming. Right now, they are going through the environmental impact study. So they're expecting that to be completed by the summer of 2027. So we're still about 1.5 years away from that feasibility study being completed. They're getting documentation from all the parties involved as they build this feasibility study, and they're doing the environmental side of it as well. But all of that is scheduled to be completed in the summer of 2027. So we're still in a holding pattern somewhat. There's still talks about cost sharing from the government, from the Bureau of Reclamation, which could hopefully lighten the cost for other parties involved, but at the same time it could lessen the water that's available because they want to take a sizable amount. So there's a lot of those talks going on right now that need to be worked out. That's all part of the feasibility study. But we're still right in the thick of it. Once it does get approved, if it gets approved next summer, then it's going to go to Congress for approval by Congress, and we'll see where it goes from there. And if it's approved by Congress, well, then The project would take 10 to 15 years to be completed. It's a big project. So this is a very, very long-term project if it even gets approved. So, but we're all waiting to see where all this goes with the feasibility study and negotiations along the way. So I don't really have any good ideas on approvals. That's all much, much higher than us. But hopefully as this feasibility study continues, we'll have more information, which I will provide as I get that.
Yeah, just to clarify, one reason why it takes 10 to 15 years is that they're building an entire new dam, so downstream of the current dam. So not just raising the height of the existing
Yeah,
dam.
correct. Yeah, that's a very sizable project. A lot of concrete that's going to be involved. So 100 feet higher, too, than what the current dam is. So.
Right.
Massive project. 10 to 15 years, pretty quick. If you ask me about completing that, we'll see if if it gets to that point, if it actually meets that timeline.
Well, they built the Hoover Dam in probably 5 years.
Yeah.
Very true. So that's an update on the Bartlett Lake study. Nothing too new that you probably haven't already heard. The next one is the emergency response plan. And there's really two parts to this one. There's the risk and resiliency assessment. That's the first part of this, and then it leads into the emergency response plan. So per the EPA, every 5 years, every water system is required to update their emergency response plan and to do this effort of an assessment, vulnerability assessment. So 5 years ago, in 2021, Carefree Water had a consultant that helped with the vulnerability assessment, which led to the emergency response plan. So we're 2026, 5 years later, so we are again engaging in that, and you probably noticed in your budget for this year, we had set aside some money to carry that out. So we've contacted KUV, they're our consultant that we used, and starting next month, we have some workshops planned with them. They're going to look at a number of different vulnerabilities to start with through the workshops. They're going to look at IT security vulnerabilities. They're going to look at our physical assets and sites that could have potential vulnerabilities, and look at what threats there are. We'll be engaging with Public Works through some of these. We'll be engaging with our IT company, the companies that take care of our communications from the sites. So it's a really nice holistic approach to see. They're not just looking at, okay, well, this pipe is vulnerable. We're looking at the whole encompassing all the operations, both from physical and electronic and even a financial way, to see what vulnerabilities we have. And then that works into the emergency response plan to see how we meet those risks and mitigate those risks. So it's a really nice program and system through these workshops. It helps us as a utility to see where do we need to be focusing our efforts. What are we missing? What's the big picture that we're missing? Is there any smaller vulnerabilities that we're missing? And then we can address them from there. So we're looking forward to getting this done. Should be completed long before July 1st, but we're going to be right in the thick of it starting next month. So any questions with regard to that?
Do we use the same IT security firm that the town uses?
Currently we are, yes. Yeah, nothing but that.
What is the cost of it?
With the IT company?
No, for doing the whole emergency response.
Yeah, I have the quote. We had set aside $50,000 in the budget for this year. However, I should know, it's under $25,000 that we're going to be getting this effort done. So we were able to look at a couple different get some quotes from some different companies, and they came in at, I believe it was, don't quote me on it, but it was under $25,000. So there will be a cost savings there.
Yeah.
It'll be nice. Not that we're skimping on the effort. We're still getting a very good product in the end and getting a full assessment done. All right. No other questions. The last one is the service line notifications. Maybe you have heard some of our customers that may have received some notifications recently. So starting in 2024, the EPA required all water systems, companies and systems to build an inventory of all their service lines, customers, and also service lines that the municipalities or the companies own. And we're required to identify what those lines were. Now, as part of building the inventory, there were designations that we had to set. And this was all to see if there's any lead lines, both on the utility side and also the customer side. So there was, in 2024, there was an effort to go through a records review to start there because based off of building requirements, after certain dates, lead was banned. And so those could be eliminated and off the board. However, anything previous to that, we'd have to investigate to see what the line material is made of. So that in 2024, that inventory was built, and anything with an unknown designation didn't mean it was lead. It just meant that we simply didn't know what that material was. We had to send notifications out to customers, letting them know there is maybe a potential. We highly doubt that because here in Arizona, they really didn't use lead. This is a fairly new state, if you will. This is a big issue in the east. So up till now, most of the municipalities that have done this have not found lead lines in their systems, and we're pretty confident we're not going to find any lead service lines. However, till we get past that unknown designation, we have to submit the notifications on an annual basis. So we recently submitted that. In the budget this year, we did have money set aside to move forward with identifying more service lines. So $75,000 put in the budget this year. With the intent to start on this and get a good number of those online unknown lines identified. And then next fiscal year, we'll finish this effort of identifying those with the goal of eliminating all our unknown service lines in the system. And so we're really looking forward to being past that step, and then we can almost forget about it. So that's an update on that one.
So when do you expect them to start that work?
We still need to engage with a contractor to do that and get some bids out. So I'm hoping come April, May, we'll start that effort of actually getting investigations. It's physical investigations done at the meter boxes. So it's going to be an effort that takes place. So we're looking for late spring.
So it'll be done this fiscal year? First half, or part
Yes,
you're
correct.
doing now?
Correct, yeah. We're going to get as much done with the money we have now and set aside some funds for next fiscal year to complete the effort.
And so I believe we haven't found any problematic lines.
No.
But if we were to, who's responsible for fixing them?
So if it's on the utility side, then we would definitely be responsible for replacing that. On the customer side, you know, there's been some back and forth with legislation as to who should fix that and who should repair that. There has not, it's been in litigation, so there's no solid answer on that at the moment. The ADQ, or Arizona Department of Environmental Quality, is still working through that to see, so I don't have a good answer on that one at the moment. But
What year was it outlawed, lead? What's the break year?
so 1988 is when the federal government banned lead.
Uh-huh.
And depending on if previous years, there were some municipalities that banned lead even earlier than that. So what we have to go off of right now is the 1988 national lead ban.
Yeah.
So did everyone get the notice, or just the houses that were suspect?
Just the unknown ones. Yeah, so not every customer got one, just the unknown. Those.
'Cause I got one, I just.
Okay.
I got one.
Yeah, yeah. But it was a good portion. There was about, if I remember, 900 or so that received notifications. So it went out to.
It's about a third of our houses,
Correct, yeah.
more or less. So is it invasive, or how do they, we have a few minutes, so how do they check it? I mean, do they just check it when it goes into the house, so they check it just south of the meter? How's it done?
Sure. So currently, ADQ requires that, and the EPA requires that within 18 inches of the meter on the customer side and within 18 inches of the meter on the utility side, those 2 points of verification are sufficient for now to make that determination.
Okay.
So most of the work would happen there at the meter box, which shouldn't, which all our meter boxes are there. I shouldn't say all, but most of the meter boxes are in right-of-ways or easements where we have a right to be, and we wouldn't be disturbing anything past landscaping, things like that. So that will be the focus, is getting those two points of verification.
Okay, very good.
If we've done it on our side, I got a notice. Do we notify you and then you come and check your side?
That would be great, yeah. If you did have some verification on your side.
Yeah.
And the process is we just have to prove through verification purposes, usually that's photographs of the actual service line. And if it is metallic, then we would do a lead test on it. So there's a process to it, but if you take a picture and it's PVC, that's easy to say it's non-lead. So.
Yeah.
Any other questions from the board? Okay, hearing none. Well, thank you, Nick, good job. And Nikki, thank you also for the audit work. That was just perfect on both counts. So,
Yes,
Thank you very
very good start. Glad
very
you're on
good
board.
start. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very
And I
much.
think you're getting your CPA here sooner than later, right? April, yeah. So. Excellent. Good for you. Glad to hear it.
Yep. Great asset to the company.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, item number 4, adjournment. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Passed unanimously. We're adjourned. And at 5 o'clock, we'll convene for town council.
Done 20 minutes. No, we started all the construction of the garage. They came in and they started working.